Oh yeah, it likes your face better than mine. It knows that you're a real human.
Oh, right. How can you tell that? Oh, I see. There's a little box.
Yeah, you've got the little check. Hello and welcome to Heather and Hops. My name is Kat or Catherine and I am a knitter that resides in Hertfordshire in the United Kingdom, and this is my little space on the internet where I share the things that I've been knitting and document my knitting journey. I'm going to open today slightly differently after this little segment. In fact, I'm going to quickly pour myself my tea. So today I am drinking a pumpkin black chai from Edinburgh in Edinburgh. I know them through the lovely moniker of Windy Hollow Farm, and when I was there I stopped in and picked up a couple of things. I couldn't resist. I'm a real sucker for a chai, and I did have one of my favourite chais, but we'll talk about that later. But this one had pumpkin in it, and being that it's sort of slightly fall, slightly festive, autumn, not fall, I kind of couldn't resist getting it. And as you can see, it really does have little bits of spiced pumpkin in there, or dried pumpkin I should say. Excuse my hands, I have coffee hands from many moons of coffee work this weekend. I'm sitting on the corner of the sofa today. I'm a bit relaxed, as you can tell, and I'm drinking from I want to call it a mug, but it doesn't really have a handle, that I made I guess 2 years ago now maybe, and this was my mug in the studio, but it's home now again and I really enjoy drinking from it. I love the glaze on the outside and it's quite heavy, and unlike my Keep cup, which is amazing at keeping my drinks warm, it actually keeps my hands warm too. So yeah, I'm going to start today off just by inserting a video from not the weekend that's just been, the weekend before, and I got, amazingly, I got to go to Edinburgh. I went to see one of my favourite bands, which we'll talk about afterwards, but I did, oh, are you going to come say hi? She's just rubbing up, come in, come here. Oh no, I've got her a new seat that she loves. That's little Audrey, in case you're a new viewer. There seems to have been an influx. Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Back again. So I went up to Edinburgh to see a band, and in the process I got very excited because I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to go and visit a couple of yarn shops. Ginger Twist Studio is one that I hoped to visit last year, but I didn't get the time or the chance to. So I sent the lovely Jess a message and she agreed to pop in for a little chat. So I went to see her on Saturday about midday and we had a little chat. I only recorded about 15 minutes of it, but I think I spent about an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours there with her. There was a lovely lady called Patricia there too, which we had a nice chat. Hi Patricia, if you're watching. And I kind of wish I'd recorded more, but it was so exciting and so nice just to be there that I got carried away. And yes, I will let past me do the talking now. So I'll see you in just a bit. I look quite a state, don't I? I look like I've walked a couple of miles after breakfast.
Oh, we're getting to the point now when it's going to get quite sunny in the shop.
It's kind of okay.
Yeah.
As long as you just... Oh yeah, it likes your face better than mine. It knows that you're a real human.
Oh, right. How can you tell that? Oh, I see. There's a little box.
Yeah, you've got a little check.
Uh-huh.
Hooray!
Okay. Oh, that's good. Yay.
Success. So, hello and welcome to Heather and Hops. My name is Kat or Catherine and I am a knitter living in Hertfordshire, but today, as you can tell, I am very excitingly in my favourite place on the planet. I am in Scotland and I am in Ginger Twist Studio with the lovely Jess.
Hello.
So I just will start a little bit with what I've just finished knitting, just because I haven't shared it yet and it's relevant, sort of. But it's St Andrew's Day. Is that true? Today?
Is it Saturday? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's St Andrew's Day today.
And I picked out these colours on Thursday as a Thanksgiving knit, even though I'm clearly not American. But I saw Christy Glass said she was going to cast one on, and I couldn't resist. So I knitted my St Andrew's colours Soldotner. All it is Blacker Yarns Classic DK. It is completely unblocked because I finished it in the cafe this morning, just before it came here. But I had to share it with you. Slight adjustment to it. I did a slightly shorter crop for the length because my other one is actually not really a crop because I'm quite a lot shorter than most people. But I'm very happy with it and I'm going to put it on later if I can get it dry before the show tonight. I am seeing my favourite band yet again in the third country in less than a month. So there you go. Anyway.
Well done. Well done.
So this is a lovely Jess and I just want to know a little bit about your yarn story.
Okay.
Where did you begin?
I think it was when I was like 12 or so. My nana taught me to knit, and then
Because you're not from around here.
I'm not from around here. I'm from Oregon. It's on the west coast of the States, and so I grew up. Well, spent most of my childhood there and grew up there, and then I moved to New York, and I lived in the city for just over 8 years, and then now I've lived in Edinburgh for just over 9.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyways, yeah, so I learned to knit from my nana. I'm left-handed as well, so...
Me too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you knit left-handed then, or do you knit right? Okay. I knit left-handed, so everything is sort of mirror image.
So you have to flip everything.
Yeah. Well, I just follow the pattern as it is, but then, like, if I'm doing a cable pattern, it turns out, different. Like, it's just... As long as I just keep doing the same thing, I twist it the opposite way. So... Anyways, it's fine. But that was a bit of a challenge, so she had to like sit across from me and try to teach me, and I had to pretend, like I was looking in a mirror.
Wow.
So that was a challenge, but there was a scarf in a catalogue that I really, really wanted to make, and I just didn't have enough money to like buy it, so I just thought, I'll just make it. So I wanted my nana to teach me, and she did, and wonderful. It's a shame she hasn't been able to make it to the shop. She's not so travel worthy. Yeah.
Frequent FaceTime.
Yes. Yeah. But anyway, she's still in Oregon. And then it wasn't until after I'd always wanted to have a yarn shop, and then it wasn't until after I moved here that I was like, oh yeah, I could totally do that. And I had sort of forgotten it. I got sort of sidetracked. I had different dreams, and then came back to the yarn shop concept and then just sort of went for it.
You have one for it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. This place is just jam-packed. It is wee, like it says, but it is, I'm in a little bit of yarny heaven, that's for sure.
Surrounded by colour. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful colour. So, also, I'd love to know what you're wearing.
This is by Justina Lakowska. Sorry, saying that name. It's from an issue of Pom Pom Quarterly a few years back, and it's called Talent. Yeah, and it's in chunky yarn, so it goes really fast, but I really I was sold by the sleeves, just the thumb hole, and I really like the neck as well.
Yeah, it's different. It's lovely.
Yeah, and it's got like a high-low hem, slightly longer hem in the back, and it just has all these elements that I really like about it, and it's quite boxy and...
And
Yeah.
what did you knit it in?
Oh, in Ginger's hand dyed. Plumps chunky, so it's the 100% merino. Wears pretty well. I've had this for, since the pattern came out, basically. I've worn it a lot.
It's gorgeous, and I think the colour on the camera is still
gorgeous. And this was actually this pink. It's called Hot Fuzz. I haven't done it in a wee while. But these were like faulty skeins. Like usually if skeins have like some spots that aren't meant to be there, or different colors. Like you can see this has sort of like a little bit of bluish.
Oh yeah.
Like it got stained.
Like it.
But I really liked it, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna sell this. I'll just make something.
Yeah. Keep it. Use it.
Yeah. Oh, I do that a lot.
I would be the same, I think. Especially, I will do a little bit of footage of the colour selection, and Jess's colours are beautiful. I'm wearing my Magnolia Chunky, which is knit in Norris.
Oh.
Yeah, I've had to tuck it in, even though I did the cropped version, or the shorter version. As you can see, I'm really short, so it sort of drowns me, and it doesn't look very flattering with these big baggy trousers unless it's tucked in.
I'm gonna do the cardigan version of that. That's my
gorgeous.
holiday knit.
Have you chosen colours?
Yeah. I've dyed some. I do avocado dyeing occasionally. Most of my dyeing is with acid dyes, but I do just when I'm at home. I just save my avocado stones and skins, and then so I've got an Aran weight in a Wensleydale. So one strand of that, and then one strand of the mohair that I do in a really soft. It's called Millions of Peaches, but it's a really soft peachy pink. And just combining those two, it's going to be marvelous.
Incredibly neutral wearable
yes,
all the time.
Yeah, but sort of, pinky. I'm really going through a pink phase, I think.
I might be entering one after this.
Yeah.
That's the point. I find that I keep veering off. So although I've got loads of lovely knit pieces now, they don't really go so well. Like I'm looking at this, and today will be wearing basically nothing that matches.
It's okay.
I've got a bright pink hat as well back at the Airbnb that I'll be wearing.
It'll be necessary. Yeah.
It was -4 when I woke up. I was like, wow, yes!
So cold.
I mean, I quite like it because then I wear a lot of mohair, and back in London it gets cold. It's not that many degrees different, but I've been too warm wearing a lot of my jumpers. I'm like, damn it! And I've come here and I'm like, yes! All of the yarn! Yeah, this is amazing. What is... This is going to be really hard.
Oh, no.
Your favourite base, do you think?
Well, definitely. I think just because it's the newest is the mohair. So I've knit with mohair for ages, and I don't know why I was sort of holding back, like dyeing my own. Yeah. And now that I have, started, I just want to knit everything with a strand of mohair. Yeah.
I should have bought you a bag. My thing is mohair, no problems.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm such a sucker.
We'll
have to pause.
Yeah. Pause. Hello.
Hi.
This is a long time ago. I've just started.
Another work project in my bag, actually.
Oh yes.
This is the only project I have left with me. It's just a simple Aran weight hat, and the colour is Salt Marsh, which is a new colour, which is quite interesting.
Oh, lovely.
Closer. It's a bit of everything. I'm not showing it the finest, that's for sure, but yeah, quite pleased with it. I'll be used for some pictures. Oh yeah, while I'm here, you will probably need to wash it because I am not the best dyer. But I did make a little gift as a thank you for having me.
Oh,
see, there's some
wonderful.
yarn.
Oh, that's so sweet.
This is close to the colour that my hops went when I dyed them.
All right.
And this is my heather colour, and there's some purple.
Purple
at the moment.
Lovely. Well, they look so nice together.
I don't know what you'd be able to do.
I don't know if the light. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
so cute. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll do something.
You just hang them up and
Yeah,
look at them.
yeah, I know. Christmas tree ornaments.
Yeah, and my partner bought me some Fabiana May of the Yellow Brick Road colour. He didn't even know. He was just like, I went and I picked a colour that I liked. And it's like, oh, well done.
That'll
like,
do.
very well done. And it's just been hanging. I can't decide what to do with it. It's sort of... It's enough for a ranunculus.
Okay, yeah. Number 4, maybe?
Maybe number 5.
Well, number 5.
I've been scouting some yarn that you can't quite see in our little interlude. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
There's so many questions I could ask, but I won't. Like, have you got a favourite project that you've ever done?
I did make, it was before I had the shop, and it was my first sort of like bigger dyeing project. Like I dyed little bits and bobs for myself, but this was like, I was like dyeing a lot of wool because I made a Chanel suit. So I made a skirt with a jacket, and I've only worn it a couple of times because I just have this stupid mentality where I'm like, oh no, save for best. Like that is a really my fancy lady thing, but I need to wear it more. But I think that's probably my favorite.
Have you got photos? Oh no.
No, I'll just need to wear it.
Yeah.
I know. I took it out just to make sure that everything was okay with it the other day and tried on again. I was like, why don't I wear this? It's just fabulous. So.
Do you have? Is it in storage? Is it protected?
No. Oh, well, it's just in my closet, but I've got like, yes, protection to the max. Yeah.
I didn't know that moths were still a problem.
Oh
I was like,
God.
One of the girls I work with is like, oh my God, my friend, she's lost loads of stuff to moths. It's like, I actually need to think about that because I currently don't.
Just get all the things, the traps, the sprays, actual real lavender and cedar. Yeah, cedar's fairly good. Yeah.
Let us know how you protect your knits, please, because I should really start. And there was something else I wanted to ask. Oh, this is an amazing space, and you do teach and have workshops here.
Yep. I don't teach because I just use the excuse I'm left-handed, but I'm very...
You should teach left-handed.
I could do, but I'm actually just a really impatient teacher. I think I'm just like, oh, why can't you just do it? Just, give it to me. Like, I'll just, So I don't think I'm actually really... it takes a special skill to be a good teacher.
Yeah, patience and a lot of saying the same thing. And I find that you have to cater for everyone's learning, so saying, doing, and reading even.
Yes, so absolutely.
I'm getting better with that.
You can't be everything, so I know what I'll stick to my strengths.
Dyeing a lot of amazing yarn and conveying it to everyone. And you've been dyeing for how long?
Probably about 10 years, just like casually. But then I just started dyeing commercially, like after I started the shop. I was like, right, I want some hand-dyed yarn to sell in the shop, and I can't actually, I was doing it on a very, very limited budget. So I was like, right, it's too much for me to have to order from somebody, having to get in quantities and
quite
stuff.
Kilos, there's quite a few kilos, isn't it?
So I just thought, well, I'll just start doing it myself. It'll be fine. And I started in my kitchen, and very shortly that got out of hand. And I had to move into like a proper space. So now I've got the dye studio is just like 10-minute walk down the road. That's where we run the workshops as well. So it's sort of like multifunctional space. But yeah, love it.
And because I will hopefully get this out by the Wednesday, so that will be around the 3rd of December. What have you got coming up?
The last crochet workshop of the year is sold out, but we've got 3 beginner crochet workshops coming up in the new year, so in January, February. There's another beginner one and another Fair Isle. And then hopefully I've got in the works brioche, lace, and socks. But those haven't been scheduled yet, but in the making.
I'm coming to the brioche. Yeah. The first time I ever did brioche, it was a 2-colour project, and the colours were incredibly similar.
Oh, right. Oh, that'd be tricky.
And I didn't know, for the first 6 months I was purling backwards.
Oh!
So I was learning to do twisted brioche in 2 colours, which was impossible to see. I remember I was in the Yorkshire Dales, which was really, really nice. But I must have spent about 6 hours of my time there
restarting, and I almost gave up. But never give up, and never believe you can't do anything. Brioche isn't that difficult.
Persevere.
But you have to just figure it out, learn to read it slowly, not, oh, what am I doing? And then I finished the project, and I was like, this looks very different to everyone else's brioche.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh! And it's just because I was going under instead of over.
Oh, right.
Curling.
You know, for years I did, instead of doing garter stitch as you should, pretty much had always done twisted garter stitch.
Wow!
Yeah, I didn't know I was doing that, but I knit kind
Is
of
that
weird, because I knit sort of like a combined continental or something, but...
Is it through the front? Were you knitting through the back, or
I think it was when I was knitting it flat. When I knit it flat, then I need to knit through the front. And then if I knit in the round, then I need to knit into the back. It's really difficult when you're like, I just do it.
And when
I
you
just do
don't
it.
have someone there either. If you've got another knitter, which is why this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's awesome. It's connected so many people. But if you've not got someone there to sort of slow you down, or to, even if they're a new knitter too or not, like then they pick up things so much quicker than you would. Like, I know that my friend Georgia, she was doing the same. She was knitting through the black, like knitting her pearls backwards too. But she's a left-handed person,
right.
but she's learnt to knit right-handed, and I was the same. I forced myself to crochet left-handed, which made the transition to knitting a lot easier. Because the first time I tried to knit, I tried to do colourwork mittens on DPNs, and it was
steep learning curve.
yeah, it was awful. I think I got 4 rounds in and just tore it out and was like, well, I won't try that again for another 6 years.
Oh.
But success. The first thing I did knit was a pair of colourwork mittens. Wow. Lovely Kate Davies, obviously being a lover of Scotland. So, yeah. Do you remember your first project?
It was a scarf. I couldn't do the one that I saw in the catalogue first because that had too many colours in it. So it was white, sparkly, acrylic yarn.
Amazing.
And I hope I still have it at my folks' place. It should be in there, but I mean, the edges of that were just like a flipping river, you know. Oh.
A scarf's quite... I feel like a scarf's a big commitment for a first project.
It
a lot of
really
people
is.
go for it.
Yes.
And I think that's
yeah.
amazing, but I feel like that's where people sort of drift off.
Yep.
Because there's so much work has to go into it, whereas a hat, even socks, you can see the progress a lot quicker.
Usually if someone comes into the shop and they're wanting to learn and they want to make a scarf, I'm just like, oh, what do you think about maybe doing a cowl, a neck warmer instead? Like, you know.
It makes so much sense.
it
Because you
does.
get that, I guess it's an endorphin rush when you complete it. You're like, wow.
That pride and,
But anyway. Right. I guess I should actually let Jess get on with some work. In case someone comes in again.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few customers since. Jess has also has some tea here, which I'm probably going to invest in and take home and sample. So if you do come, do get a go on that one too. Thank you so much for having me, Jess, and showing me around your lovely little space.
yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, and I will speak to you all very soon. I hope you have a lovely week no matter what you're up to. Hope you enjoy some knitting and some sweater weather. I did this morning crunch on some leaves and some frosty grass for the first time of the year. Thank you, Scotland. Take care and speak to you very soon. Bye!
So hopefully you enjoyed that. There's a few things that I'd like to add. Jess has amazingly shared some pictures of her Chanel suit, which she spoke about, and I'll either pop some photos in here or just head over to her Instagram page, Ginger Twist Studio, and have a little look. It is amazing. I would really, really love to knit myself something similar, if I'm honest. Maybe in like a dark heathered grey or a brown, like a brown black. That would be so nice. Yeah. And this is nice. This is the first time I've tried it. I brewed it today especially for the morning. I quite like to make memories happen in ways like this. Yeah. So that was a very quick discussion that I had. about this little thing that I might have been wearing. I'm going to take this one off. This is not my own hand knit, but this is a knit that I found in the charity shop and I couldn't not bring it home. It's definitely hand knit and I really love it. I've probably owned it for 5 or 6 years now and I still wear it all the time. I'm also wearing my Sky Hill hat, which I really should talk to West Yorkshire Spinners about, I don't know, wholesaling their yarn, because I love it. But this is by Emily Foden and knit in the light and the medium grey, held together by West Yorkshire Spinners. I might do a larger one at some point, but actually this one's like almost a tea cosy for my head. It holds my hair in place and it's really snug. And this one is my finished object, which I started on Thursday and I finished on Saturday morning when I was in Edinburgh. The colours I went for, as you can see, well, maybe not, but they were bought with Edinburgh in mind. So I've got the royal blue, a pale blue because blue is Scotland, and then I've got a little bit of red. And it was actually St Andrew's Day when I finished this, which I'm not religious or aware of what is celebrated around then, but I thought it was quite nice because it's quite a Scottish holiday and I finished it in Scotland. Yeah. This is the Soldotna, if you've not seen it before, by Caitlin Hunter, who I really enjoy her patterns. This one's written beautifully and, as I said, it is a very quick knit. So if you're learning colour work, even though it's all over, I feel like because it's so quick, you're not investing too much time, but you will learn how to do it very quickly because of it, if that makes sense. I kind of wish that I started on something like this myself. It might have been that, you know, it was knit once and you got to the bottom and suddenly the floats are beautiful and everything's great, so it wouldn't be too upsetting to rip back and start again. That's my opinion anyway. What do I know? And I wanted to show you the yarn because a couple of them are quite, well, one of them is particularly special. I'm going to grab it. So the blue, the dark blue and the red are all blacker yarns, and that it is there. I'll bring it over just because I'm trying to be a bit better at sharing the information really. So this is the Blacker Yarns Classic DK. Doesn't want to pick us up. Hi, there you go. Which is a woolen spun, and it is made in the UK. 100% wool, and there is 110 metres per 50 grams. So this, I believe, was only about £4, maybe not even. So I only needed 2, 4, 6 balls in total. So it makes it a very affordable knit, as well as being 100% wool, which we all know I'm quite into my woolies. But the cream is one that I've been wanting to use for quite a long time. This is the Sunflower Gold version, but this is, I don't want to get it wrong, Hunting Hall's pure Northumbrian organic wool, and that's what I used for the cream in here. This is very special to me because it's Northumbrian. I went to the farm, and if you go back to maybe April or June of this year, I'll try and link it down below or in a thing. I'm really not quite a YouTuber. But I did go to the farm and visit, and there's videos of the sheep, so, you know, it holds a place dear in my heart. I have this much left. I used every single inch of the dark blue. Everything. All of it. Which was quite scary, to be honest, but I don't know, maybe some fingerless mittens or maybe a hat? Need to have a think. I've got a little bit of DK stash now, sort of bits like this. I don't know Maybe I will just knit another Soldotna in the future, but make it more scrappy. Or I could figure out one for the magic horses. Anyway, very cool. I'm quite pleased with this. The only modification that I made was, I don't think I did, I was going to in future do short rows in the front of Caitlin Hunter's patterns. Just a few, just to bring it down a bit. The short rows in the back are quite nice, but I just did it shorter because my other Soldotna, I am not very tall anyway, I'm probably just below average, I'm 5'4". But my waist is quite high and it sits much better. I only did 4 repeats instead of the 5 that's called for in the pattern. My other one comes a bit lower and I quite like it, but it hasn't seen as much wear and I wonder if that's why. So ta-da! There's that. And I only have one finished object. The other 2 that I'll show you are almost there. And this one is also quite special to me. This was, I'm going to grab the ball band too. And I apologise, my coffee machine is making a bit of a racket. Where is it? Oh, I did bring it over. Where did I put it? Aha, I had it in front of me all along. So I've knitted a hat. I don't really want you to see my hair today. It is really not very good. But I'm going out on Wednesday and I wanted to wash my hair today. I really like this hat. It's been worn quite a bit already. Maybe I'll leave this one on now. But I also managed to get to Kathy's knits when I was in Edinburgh. It's funny. And I should have done a bit more recording in there really, but I picked up a skein of her Hebridean mohair. So it's a 50-50 blend of Hebridean wool and mohair, and it's a 4-ply and 175 metres per skein. And do you know what? I absolutely love it. I'll see if I can show you my head a bit. It's really lightweight but really warm. I made up the pattern as I went along and I started it on the Saturday when I sat and had a donut, which was really delicious. It was a mince pie flavoured donut, everyone. I am festive at the moment. I'm feeling quite festive, as you can see. That is not my advent calendar. That is Alex's. My advent calendar comprises of socks, which I might open. No, I'm going to save it for Vlogmas. This is really good. I'm going to try and slow myself down a bit today. I feel like I keep talking very quickly and it's not. That's a repercussion of life events, whereas the real me is a little bit slower. Yeah, so I really like this hat. It's been worn quite a bit. It's a bit looser than my Sky Hill hat. Not quite as dense, but still pretty warm. This one is really warm. I do want to knit another one of them, but there's only so many hats. I might have to start passing hats on to friends and family and rotating them a bit more. Yeah. So then if you're my mum or my dad, Lottie, if you're here for some strange reason, you can watch still, but still, if you want a surprise for Christmas, look away. So I'm not sure if I shared this last time, but I have basically finished my mother's jumper. I just have to do the little button bit on the back, and I'm really pleased with it. I think because it is cotton, it's going to feel really nice for her. She's suffering with the heat sweats. Menopause, I guess, is the best way to say it. It's just be honest and blunt about it. So I feel like it will be a little bit cooler and hopefully she will wear it. I'm not talking much about these. Both of these patterns are the Betty Lodge Betty and Judy Lodge jumper by Amy Appel of Boys and Girl Knits. And this one is another one that I charted, which I love. This is for one of my friends. All I need to do on this one is the collar and to add the button. Now, for both of the buttons, I think I might have to get a nicer one for my mum. Well, not a nicer one, but a different one for my mum. But this is what I was going to go with. Oh, smile, cat. There you go. Really simple, just plain back buttons that I'd picked up from Wool Warehouse, I believe. But I think I want to get something a little more zhuzhy for my mum. She quite likes a sparkle. So yeah, again, I'm not sure if I said last time, but I've cast on a hat for my dad, which is now completely frogged. It is ripped back and rewound. And so that was quite a big shock, was I would love to knit for so many more people than I'm knitting for, but there's only so much time and only so much, you've got to be careful of your wrists that you can do. But I am making progress. I've used the Strange Brew book and the numbers for the Aran weight jumper, and this is how far I have got so far. Yes. So I really love a tubular cast on, which, if you don't know, it just gives it a bit of a nicer edge. It almost looks like it's been rolled over, so I quite like that. And then I also added some short rows in the back. You have to forgive me, it's not woven in yet. Just because I just really like having my short rows right at the top of the neck. I haven't really played with having them below the colourwork, but I'm not that fussed about having a little bit of a gap here. I just think it also makes it a little bit more noticeable, so that when you are going to put on your jumper, you know which way to put it on straight away. So I'm quite pleased with this so far. I hope that I can find some decorations for both my mum and my dad for their trees, so they can have them plain and fairly classic, and then they can zhuzh them up and have them almost sort of panto worthy. Yeah, so I think I've got 7 inches left of the body to do, and it is working up quite quickly. I'm using drops Nepal again for this. I'm really purchasing a lot of drops for gifts, and I think because it's probably more likely to be washable, and without knowing much about yarn, it's quite soft and accessible, whereas the yarns that I personally quite like aren't really suitable for people that aren't that way inclined. Oh no, red flashing light of doom, I've got to change my battery. I'll be back in a second. Hooray! Hopefully. Yeah, so we were just finishing up talking about my dad's jumper. I'm really pleased with it so far. I really love the blue colour. I made up the chart myself for the tree and the pattern, and I'm using my little progress keeper, which was a gift from RDC Crochet, which is Rachel, I believe, who was my we did a fibre swap last year. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. And so another new cast on, which is also another Strange Fruit pattern, where I've done the same thing. I've done a tubular cast on, some short rows at the very back, at the top, and created my own chart. So this is so little, and it's on short cables, but also out of drops Nepal, and it is for a young boy. You have to see if I can get. Here we go.
I'm quite pleased with it so far. It should knit up in no time at all. I started this yesterday. I did a little bit in bed yesterday evening. That might be a little bit clearer now. But yeah, not really much to write home about again on this one. It is living in yet another Duckpool Lane bag. I can't recommend Leslie's "oh, we've fallen down" bags enough. That's kind of perfect, I guess. They're really sturdy. They last really well. My other one I've had for probably a year now, I think, and I use it a lot. This one's just slightly smaller, which seems to be perfect for this little jumper. And drops in a pool, while I remember, read you the makeup of it. It is 65% wool, 35% alpaca, and it's got 50 grams of weight and 75 meters of yardage. It is really quite soft. The alpaca makes it very soft, and in theory should make it really rather warm too. How's that? Oh, we're too high. What kind of show are you running here, Cat? It's a bloody shambles. Now it's too tall. Oh dear. Let's go down a bit. Okay. Oh, I do have another finished object here. As you can see, this is a little bit back and forth today. It's another hat, quick, easy knit that I did for a sample for work. This is the Dreaming Slow hat, which I designed for Chain Fibre. It is in the colour Saltmarsh, which I do really love. It's sort of a very variegated, speckly pink and green and mustard and brown and blue. It's got a bit of a lot in there. I always love the top of this hat. I'm really proud of this. It's simple, it's really simple, and most people could design it, I'm sure, but I love it. I'm really pleased. Yeah! So that is the Chain Fibre Merino Aran. Just shove that up now. And the only other thing I've been working on, I've put a little bit of time into, just because I'm finding that my dad's jumper was too heavy to knit on stood up, so it wasn't really suitable for working, taking me with me to work at the coffee. But this one is, and this is my texture time, which suddenly seems to be growing quite well. So I've finished this wing here, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4th section for me. I'm counting them each as separate ones, and this will be the 5th. So I've started and I've got a little way into this. This is the Texture Chime shawl by Stephen West. I can still fit it into frame nearly, so you know it's not nearly finished yet. But this is knit using, I can't remember the name of the teal, or the white, or the almost black, but the variegated greeny purple. So the one I'm using for the suri here, and the garter ridges here, is Crocus, which was the Cub Colorway by Chain Fibre, and the purple is Atmosphere, which was a skein that had neon yellow on. So I'm knitting it out of that. I'm really pleased with it so far. I actually love the colours. I kind of regret not doing these the opposite way round. I think it would show off the variegation if it was in the stocking net and the teal was in the garter, but you know, once I got a few rows in, I kind of felt like I had to just commit and go for it. Yeah, really pleased with this so far. It is definitely going to be a long process in it. I'm not rushing to get this done. I would love to wear it this winter. I mean, winter technically starts in 12 days time, so that there still might be a chance that I'll finish this in 3 months, 2 months. But I do recommend, if you haven't done a Stephen West pattern, not because everyone should do one, but if you want a
a quite large project where you're going to learn some new techniques to you that can be somewhere between meditative and concentration. I think it's brilliant. The section I'm in now, I won't give anything away, but there's only 1 row in 10 where you have to put in any thinking. So you've got maybe one per row, the rest all knits, and then 1 row of creating the shapes, which I think is pretty cool, that you can almost have it as a conversational knit, and then every now and then duck out, or when you're sat watching television and you don't want to be too mindless about it, you can stay mindful, but then you've got the freedom of the meditative rows. I'm really enjoying knitting on it. That's kind of what I'm saying. I think that's it. And finally, I would like to share this just because it's gorgeous. I had intended on winding it and knitting it straight away, but do you know what? I've got some really beautiful yarn, and I keep looking at this and I'm not convinced. So I bought this yarn from Jess at Ginger Twist Studio, and I'm going to bring it close to you and show you it because it's absolutely stunning. Her cute little labels. And this is Lallybrock, the colourway, I believe. I don't want to say it wrong. And look at this. So I've got a feeling that the likes of maybe Skein and the Happy Knitting podcast would really like these two. And I kind of feel like I've been caught by that bug maybe. But these, I just love this colour. Yeah, so we all know that I love mohair, so I had to buy a skein of this. It's 72% kid mohair silk, kid mohair, and 28% silk. It's blowing out a little bit. Yeah, and then this one is her hand-dyed sheepish sock. So it's a BFL with 20% nylon and 80% BFL. I love BFL. I don't know why. It doesn't seem to have a very good rep for some people, but I really, really like it. I don't find it. I mean, I can have it on my neck and my face easily. So initially, I'm gonna keep holding these maybe like a child. I thought about doing a ranunculus, and what I might do is hold it double, and then just for the lace work, just use the mohair. That was my intention, because there's not quite enough meterage to do the whole lot, but I felt like that might be really nice. However, I do have some La Bien-Aimée mohair, and now I've got a mustardy yellow and almost mustardy orange, and this. I'm like, oh, would I ever wear it? But that would be a fantastic something. And then I've also got colours to hold double with each. So I don't know. This has got to be something special. I mean, imagine if I did a Chanel suit and managed to put this in some sort of colour work or something. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, if you've got any ideas on, or even just new patterns to you that you've found, that you've discovered, that you find beautiful, please share them. I'd be very, very interested. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's so much information. So I also went to the Tate Modern for a tap takeover. Not last week, the week before. It was the day before I went to Edinburgh. And I think what I'll do is I'll slot that into the next episode that I do, just because this is already going to be quite long, guys. I'm sorry, I'm grateful that I've got so much to share with you. And thank you for sticking around if you're still here. Yeah, I really felt like I've got lots more to say, but really I should compile this together and let the rest of the journey do the talking. I will try and do a little bit more of a voiceover on my montage of Edinburgh. I had a really beautiful time. I feel at home when I'm in Scotland. I can't explain it. It's like a big breath of fresh air, and it's so friendly. It's so friendly. I love it. But yes, I should go and start compiling this together, finish my tea, have some breakfast, which is very unlike me to not have eaten before I filmed. But you know, I'm at home today, which is quite exciting for the full day. So yes, anyway, I will stop waffling. Thank you so much for joining me. As I said, if you have any music recommendations or new patterns recommendations, I am definitely all ears. If you are, I put it out there, if you're in need of a chat or just an ear to listen to, be it knitting talk, crochet talk, life, family, be anything, I am always happy to listen. You can find me on Instagram as Kat Weaver and the same on Ravelry, KATTWEAVER. I really am happy to listen. I know that this time of year can be a little bit tough. It can be a little bit unforgiving sometimes with everyone sharing the goodness, but equally a lot of darkness is there. I am happy to listen. I am not full of the wisest words, but I am definitely okay at listening. I do my best, and I will offer any support that I can to anyone that needs it. So on that, I hope you have a really lovely week or fortnight, and if I get enough knitting done, I'll share next week because hopefully I'll be at home again. But yeah, I'm sending lots of love and light out into the world, and I feel like I've received quite a bit too. Thank you so much for joining me. Little Audrey is still sat on her little chair, and we hope to see you again very soon. Look after yourselves and your loved ones. So I left from Watford Junction and got on the train. And got the train all the way to Edinburgh, knitting on my Soldotna. My Airbnb was so sweet, and of course I took my tartan trousers and matching pyjama top. I managed to get in a spot of knitting before heading into Edinburgh Centre and had a little trip to the Christmas market. It was so nice. It was quite busy, but it wasn't like unmanageable. It still didn't feel like London. And I did manage to treat myself to a lass's dream, which was a hot chocolate with amaretto, whizzy cream and cinnamon. It was so good. It was the first time I felt truly festive really this year. Warm from the heart out. For a little walk around the Royal Mile, had a little look at the castle, and then I embarked on a bit of an adventure to the pakora bar where I had vegetarian haggis pakoras, and I've got to say, I think it changed my life. That might be a bit melodramatic, but they were delicious. Ooh, bit of a treat. Hopefully that'll set me up for a good night's sleep. Not the sugar, but the valerian root milk. So I woke up and decided to write on the windows, just tell Scotland how much I love it, and embarked on my little walk to get some coffee. So it was the first frosty morning that I got to actually be outside for, which was really nice. And I walked to Cairngorm Coffee, which is one of my favourite places to go. The staff are always lovely, and that was my first time in this one. I usually go to a different one, but I think I might mix it up from now on. It's quite airy and open in there, and I managed to finish my sourdotna while I was sat there. And then I made my way to Ginger Twist Studio, which was absolutely gorgeous. The walk was nice, it was frosty. I met quite a few doggos on the Saturday, which was really fun. And almost everyone stopped to say hello, or at least gave me a good smile, which was really nice and welcoming. Then as soon as I finished Ginger Twist, I went over to Kathy's Knits. I had a good old chat with Kathy. I picked up a ball of Hebridean yarn, which was 50% Hebridean and 50% mohair, which, as you'll see, I am almost immediately cast on into a hat. I spotted the Twilight Sad poster as I was walking around, which was the reason for my trip. Donut, mince pie flavour, dreams. So the show was absolutely amazing. It was probably the most emotional show that I've ever been to. I have to admit that I cried before I even went into the venue, and highly recommend the Twilight Sad if you are into your music at all. I will just leave it at that. I had overall a wonderful trip, and I wish I filmed a bit more, but actually it's such a precious place to me that I want to share it, but I also want to make sure I am present and keep it with myself. So I hope you enjoyed my little adventure, and let me know what you do if you go to Edinburgh, if you're hoping to go to Edinburgh. Maybe we can all meet at the EYF 2021. Wouldn't that be fun?